beams.
Yes, sir.
So we'll take up that bending moment and shear force in simple beams. The simple beams are usually defined as cantilever. Usually they are of single span, or it may be simply supported beam, like that. They are called simple beams. Usually we call simple beams as cantilever or simply support beam with overhang also sometimes. Overhang also it may be that's called overhang simple beams. Usually they are subjected to vertical loads. Either vertical loads means either concentrated loads, or it may be concentrated loads, or it may be uniformly distributed load, uniformly distributed loads, or it may be uniformly varying loads or couples. So these are types of loads on simple beams. 4 category of loads you can apply on these simple beams. Usually couples rarely comes into picture. Others are all termed as vertical loads or gravity type of loads. Even varying load is also they are not frequently getting. It may be either load due to earth pressure, or it may be due to water pressure, like that. It's uniformly varying load. Whereas these two loads, they are quite common in all our civil engineering structures or beams, either concentrated load or uniformly distributed load. Varying load, it rarely occurs or in special cases, and couples also only rarely occur. So let us, and this bending moment shear force are the internal forces which are going to be developed within the section of the beam on account of the external load. So you are going to get internal stresses in the form of either bending moment or shear force to oppose that particular external load. Because ultimately the main principle of analysis is structure has to be in stationary condition or equilibrium condition due to the application of loads. Whenever it is in equilibrium, it has to satisfy equilibrium condition, compatibility condition because of displacements which are going to be occurring, as well as the boundary conditions. So that is why during the analysis of these simple beams, for evaluating these internal forces, mainly bending moment and shear force, you have to apply equations of equilibrium, compatibility, equilibrium only, and boundary conditions. So for determining bending moment and shear force, that is the internal forces developed on account of external load to resist the external forces disturbance. For determining bending moment shear force, we have to satisfy equations of equilibrium and boundary condition. Equilibrium and boundary conditions. Boundary conditions means it is support conditions. Here I have drawn the simple beams. The support conditions, either it may be fixed or hinge or volatile. These are the 3 types of supports we normally get in case of simple beams. And in case of fixed supports, that particular point is not allowed to move in the vertical direction, horizontal direction, or even it will not rotate about an axis normal to the plane in which that beam lies. All three types of displacement are not there. Generally, in beams, we get three types of displacement and three equations of equilibrium because it's a planar structure. Out of these three, all three types of displacements are zero here. Here, rotation is there, only vertical and translations are not there. Here, only vertical translation is not there. Generally, the boundary conditions are with respect to the displacements, wherein we can expect three types of displacement: horizontal displacement, vertical displacement, and a rotation about an axis normal to the plane. Out of these three displacements, all three displacements, if it is zero, it's called fixed end, fixed boundary. If two types of displacements are not there, means it is called hinge type of support. If only one type of displacement, that is vertical displacement, if it is not there, means here it is V is 0 here, but V is 0, U is 0 here, U is 0, V is 0, rotation, all three are 0. This is called fixed end, this is called hinged end, this is called roller type of support. That is the boundary condition. Condition I have told. The condition which is existing at the boundaries, that's at the end points of the beam, or depends upon the type of support provided there, and that support conditions are like this. This is called kinematic type of condition because it is related to kinematics, that is displacement. The static type of condition, of course, it is not there here, except here moment is 0, moment is 0. That is the static type of boundary condition. Here bending moment is 0, here also bending moment is 0. Whereas here bending moment is there. Right? That is called static type of boundary conditions. Boundary conditions are two categories: static type and kinematic type. Kinematic type we don't get here because we are doing only bending moment and shear force. That's the internal forces only. The static boundary condition are M is 0 here at this support, here also M is 0. That only we are applying here for finding the bending moment and shear force diagram. We have to find the reaction, in other words, because these displacements are 0. When this displacement is 0, there must be a force which is holding that particular displacement not to occur, which is preventing that displacement to occur. There must be a force holding that in that position. So that force we call it as the reaction. Since V is 0, vertical force must be there to hold it in position without having any displacement. Similarly, U is 0, that is horizontal displacement is not possible. That means there must be a force holding in that horizontal direction so that that horizontal displacement will not occur. That is called reaction. So heated support, you have two reactions, horizontal and vertical, because horizontal and vertical displacements are not occurring. But rotation is allowed. That is the boundary condition. M should be 0. Bending moment should be 0. Where that means there won't be any, there will be rotation. When no force means it is easy to displace. So it undergoes rotation. Here only V is 0, so there must be only vertical reaction. Here all three are 0, so that means there will be 3 reactions. So this you have to determine before finding bending moment shear force diagram, because for drawing bending moment shear force you have to satisfy equations of equilibrium and boundary conditions are told. Boundary conditions, just now I explained, so but all it depends upon the type of support provided at the boundary or end. of the beam. So three types of boundary are possible: fixed boundary, hinged boundary, roller boundary. Corresponding conditions which are existing boundary conditions are kinematic and static type of boundary conditions. Kinematic is no displacement is possible in fixed boundary. Here only rotation is possible. There rotation and horizontal is displacement is possible. So static boundary conditions are moment is zero, like those hinged and roller conditions. Here moment is not zero, all are present, all the three forces are present. So this much information you should have. Then you should know what is the definition of shear force and bending moment at any section, because load will be always applied at the surface of this beam. When load is applied on the surface, it may be at one point or it may be two or three more points only. Some finite points only loads will be acting on the beam structure. But resistance, that internal force, resisting force, it will be uniformly resisted by the entire section. It is not at one point. Load is acting at one point means concentrated load. Resistance will not be only at that point. The resistance will be distributed over the entire area. That's why it's called as the stress. The total force over the entire area, that is called stress. Total force divided by area. That is distributed force. That is the internal force developed uniformly from within the structure. Even if there is only one load, it is fully uniformly resisted over the entire surface from within. So this is the internal force. So it will be distributed over the entire surface area. So now let us define what is this shear force and bending moment. At any point, since it is distributed over the entire length, at any point we have to define what is this shear force, what is the bending moment. The shear force at any section or point in a beam is defined as the algebraic sum of is defined as the algebraic sum of all the vertical forces, all the vertical loads or forces either towards right or left of section, towards right or left of section or point. Section or point. That is how we define a simple definition. Just at any point or any section, if I want to determine what is the shear force, then simply I will consider left portion or right portion of that section, either towards left or right. Find the algebraic sum of all vertical loads. That is as simple as the definition. Simply you see the loads, I'll find the algebraic sum. Loads means including the support reactions. Support reactions are boundary conditions, just now I explained. First you have to evaluate the support reaction, then including that support reaction, you find out the algebraic sum of the total forces, either towards left or right. When you are finding the algebraic sum, because I told algebraic sum, that means we have to have positive force and negative force. That is, sign convention is important here. So that means here all forces acting upwards towards left or consider or shear force, or the shear force acting upwards towards left of section is considered positive and towards right, forces, shear force acting downward towards right of section, and for shear force acting downwards is considered positive. So that means at a section, if the sum of forces which are acting up, sum of the forces acting up is taken as positive, towards left, sum of forces acting down is considered as positive. This is positive shear force. Algebraic sum of all the forces which are acting up towards left, take it as positive. If they are acting down towards left, take it as negative. That's same convention we have to adopt. Similarly, bending moment at any section or point in a beam is defined as, on same lines is defined as the algebraic sum, is defined as the algebraic sum of the moments due to all loads. Moments due to all loads. Here it is only all vertical loads are forces. Here, moment due to those forces about the section, either towards left or right. Moments of all the loads either towards left or right of section. That's all. Here it is moment due to the load. Here it is only sum of the loads itself. So the sign here, since I told algebraic sum, again sign convention is important. So if the moment is creating a sagging type of moment, that is clockwise towards left, that creates sagging. If it is moment is like this, one side sagging clockwise, another side anti-clockwise. If it is there, then it will sag. So if it creates a sagging type of moment, then we consider the bending moment at that section as positive. That means if you take towards left side, then if the force moment is acting clockwise, it is positive. On the right side, if it is reverse, if it is anti-clockwise, it is considered as positive. That is sign convention. So here, sign convention for that, because algebraic sum sign convention is important. Towards left side, if it is counterclockwise direction, it is positive. On the right side, on the left side, clockwise positive, right side counterclockwise positive bending moment. This is called sagging bending moment. If it is hogging, reverse thing. Left side it is anti-clockwise, right side it is clockwise. That is hogging. That is negative bending moment. Usually in the cantilevers, because of the load, it bends like that. It is hogging. So it is always negative. Here it bends between the supports like this, because here it will not move, here it will not move. It has to move only in the downward direction like that. This is sagging. So here it is always positive. That will happen. Bending moment has to be positive here, here it is negative. So this much information, if you know, then you can work any problem, either cantilever or simply supported with different load, either concentrated load or UDL or varying load or moment. Due to that, you select and you find the bending moment diagram or bending moment shape at various sections. At various sections, you determine bending moment, then join them, the resulting shape or polygonal shape what you are going to get, that is called bending moment diagram. And here same thing, shear force. At various sections you determine the shear force, draw a curve. So that particular curve we call it as the shear force diagram. That's all. That is the definition of shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Now we can take up problems one by one determine this thing. Also maximum bending moment or shear force which will occur. Shear force always, maximum shear force occurs at boundaries where support is there because all loads has to be transferred to the support. So naturally one can expect maximum force near the support. So shear force always occurs at the support. That point you can remember. That is shear force, if they ask find maximum shear force, you can just take the supports. If there are two supports, both the supports you find vertical force or shear force, one of them will be maximum. Whichever is maximum, that will be. If it is fixed, cantilever, only one support is there, then whatever the force, vertical force is there, that is called maximum shear force. Similarly, maximum bending moment, in case of cantilever, it will occur at the support. Here, moments are zero in the simply supported case. At supports, it will not give. Maximum moment will occur at some point, at some section. Usually, it will be, you can occur at the center point of the simply supported maximum bending moment. Okay. That you have to evaluate. That's all the thing. Now, types of problem is either cantilever or beam, load, either concentrated load or UDL. So, you have to use the definition of shear force and bending moment. Select different sections, preferably wherever that load changes in the beam. Suppose a beam is subjected to loads like that, three types of load. Then from here to here, no load, one section. You can take, find bending moment equation about this section. It will be only due to the reactions if you go from left to right. So then the moment it crosses this section where the concentrated load is acting, this becomes active in imparting the bending moment or shear force. So another section is required here. You get the bending moment or shear force equation. So that will hold good between these two, this point. Here, this UDL starts acting. So another section is required. Then the moment it crosses here, this all loads will be acting, you can have one. So like that, you select different sections either from one end, left end or right end. Get your equation. Equation means apply this definition. At each section, take towards left side, find algebraic sum of forces, that will be 0. If take moment due to all those loads, that will be bending. You get equations. Vx1, mx1, Vx2, mx2, Vx3, mx3. So you will get that variation. If that equation of shear force or bending moment, if it is of the form some y equals mx plus c form, so variation will be straight line between that points. If it is second degree curve, variation will be parabolic type or second degree curve. If it is third degree, x cubed something, it is of third. That's all. Segment to segment, you determine the equation. Go on drawing the curve, either straight line or curve, depending upon that equation, whatever you are going to get at that. That's all the simple procedure we are following on drawing the bending moment diagram. So we take a problem, simple problems first, then number of with one loading, then with number of loading. So that covers shear force and bending moment. We'll continue with that.